On today's video, we're going to be making up some spicy, hot venison jerky. You see that I got the Michael Jackson white gloves on, right? So, you know I'm going to be cutting on something. Hey there, outdoor YouTubers. Well, like I said earlier, in today's video, we're going to make up some spicy hot venison jerky. Last fall, I got this 7-pointer with the crossbow. My dad and I processed it up. And you know, I was eyeballing some of those packages of steaks that we had in the freezer. And I was kind of thinking, that stuff would really make some awesome jerky. Now, there is one small problem. When we cut those steaks up, we cut them to steak size, not really jerky size. So I'm going to have to go back through this package of steaks, kind of slice them down a little thinner, maybe something a little bit more appropriate for the dehydrator, a little bit more jerky sized. And because of that, I'm probably going to use an actual fish fillet knife to do this. Probably going to want to get these steaks down to about 1/4 inch. You know, that should work out pretty good for the dehydrator. And you know, just like when you're cutting steaks, I prefer to cut against the grain of the meat. Okay, that's going to make a steak more tender. That's also going to make your jerky more tender. But some people do prefer to kind of have chewy jerky. So in that case, you could cut along with the grain of the meat, and that slice will stay together a lot tighter and it'll be a little chewier. So just keep that in mind if you're going to make some of your own jerky. Just kind of depends on your preference. All right, so had these steaks thawing out for a little bit. Hopefully they're just about the right firmness for slicing. I'm going to try to get it started with the fillet knife, maybe grab it with a fork, and then just kind of fillet it up. Yeah, I think that's going to work really well. Get it started there. Yeah, and then as you're going along, you can trim it out even more. Take that. Nice. And then, just like when we were originally cutting these steaks up, anything you trim off them will go in for grind to make up some burger. Alright, so we've got some really nice sliced up, trimmed up venison ready to be marinated and then ready to go in the dehydrator. Alright guys, we got our venison in this glass container now, and we're going to mix up our marinade. The recipe I'm going with, I'm getting it right out of this little pamphlet of recipes that came with this London Sunshine dehydrator. Alright, but I'm going to add a little bit of a kick to it. So we've got about 2.5 pounds of venison here. The recipe book shows all the mixing and stuff for 1 pound. So I'll have to do a little math here. Just have to bear with me. First up, we're going to go with about 1.25 cups of soy sauce, which in our case is going to be this liquid aminos, very similar to soy sauce. It even says right on here, soy sauce alternative. I guess it's supposed to be a little healthier for you. That's what we're going with. So we've got our 1/2 cup measure right here. So there's a half cup. That'll make a full cup, plus a little more. And then we're going to go with 5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now, this is my wife's homemade Worcestershire sauce, all right? And I'll leave the recipe for this down in the description of this video, okay? But it's pretty much the same stuff. Again, it's supposed to be a little healthier alternative. 1, 5. And then we're going to go a little heavy on the pepper. That's part of that spice, right? That hot, spicy venison jerky we're trying to make. So we're going to go a little bit heavy on the pepper. We're going to go with 2 teaspoons. That looks like a little extra. And then the recipe calls for garlic and onion powder, okay? My wife mixes them together because she almost always uses them together. So again, we're going to have to kind of do a little bit of math. So basically, instead of going with 2 teaspoons of each, we're going to be going with 4 total. I don't know, maybe we'll even make it 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, you know, there's a little overflow there too. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Boom. Then it calls for a few drops of liquid smoke. So we'll even go a few drops more. And then this is the part that kind of makes it hot. We're going to go with a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Ooh, nice heaping one. All right. So we're going to go ahead and mix this all up real good. Put the lid on. Leave it in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow we'll toss it in the dehydrator. Okay guys, so we're back. We got the marinated venison out of the refrigerator. Okay, and let me tell you, it looks and smells awesome. All right, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to strain it off a little bit. Try to get some of that marinade off of it before we put it in the dehydrator. Now, I used to have a fairly cheap, mostly plastic dehydrator several years ago. And it seemed like every time I went to use that dehydrator, it took forever, you know, to dehydrate anything, and it only did really small batches. So I decided to give this London Sunshine dehydrator a try. Pretty much this whole thing is stainless steel. Even these trays are a nice stainless steel. It does come with these mesh trays for smaller items, and it also comes with what they call a fruit roll-up tray if you're going to make some fruit roll-ups. But then it also works double duty. It can be a crumb or a drip catcher in the bottom of the dehydrator when you're not using it for anything else. And even though this dehydrator is fairly compact, it actually does hold 6 of these trays. So it seems like there's a lot of space for stuff. And the controls are real simple to use. And like I said earlier, it comes with this pretty cool dehydrator cookbook. This thing is loaded with several recipes, and it has a lot of tips and tricks that are very helpful for a novice dehydrator like myself. And hey, who doesn't like beef jerky, right? I know pretty much every time that I run out to the camp or I'm going to be fishing for the day, I'm usually buying a big bag of beef jerky. And you guys know how expensive that stuff can be, right? It only takes about one fishing season, and I could have used that money to pay for this dehydrator. So I think this London Sunshine Dehydrator is actually going to reduce my annual beef jerky bill. So anyways, if you think you might be interested in this London Sunshine Dehydrator, I'll leave a link below in the description of this video. And I believe our venison is ready to get in there. Like I said earlier, we started off with about 2.5 pounds, and there's going to be plenty of space to do quite a bit more than that even. That'll be our last tray. And like I said, the controls are real simple. Push that. 158 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm just going to kind of go by what the little cookbook told us to go with. There's the time. The cookbook says to check it after 4 hours. So we'll do that. And there we go. And again, like I said earlier, that cookbook has a lot of good tips and tricks. Okay? It said in that cookbook, your jerky, come back after 4 hours, give it a check, check for some flexibility in it. So again, that's really good for a novice like me. So we'll be back in about 4 hours, see what we got. All right, guys, time's up. Let's give it a little check here. That piece right there. And I'll tell you, I've been in and out of the studio here all day, kind of getting my boat ready for fishing. And I've been having to smell this stuff dehydrating out these last 4 hours. So, yeah. I know it's been smelling good. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Yeah, you can taste that cayenne. It's giving it a little kick. Very good. It really is very good. You know, I really like my hot stuff, so if I could go back and do it again, I'd probably even put more cayenne on it. But it's got a nice flavor, a nice little kick to it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's done. I don't think they need any more time. All right. So, I laid out a little parchment paper here. Get these dudes off the tray, and we will bag them up in a Ziploc bag, put them in the fridge, and they will be available for eating. And again, guys, if you're at all interested in this London Sunshine Dehydrator, I will leave a link below in the description of this video where you can check it out. So far, I'm really excited about it. This is going to be an awesome option for venison in the future. Really awesome. Little piece there. I'll eat that. Yes. Very good. This is for sure going to lower my annual beef jerky bill. Eat shark. Very good. So guys, if you're interested in more videos about getting out and enjoying the great outdoors of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, be sure to check out the entire channel. And if you enjoy what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. And for bonus content, be sure to check out our Patreon page. A link to this page can be found in the description of this video. And also guys, remember to hunt, fish, laugh, repeat. Thanks for watching, and God bless.